Meanwhile, today, in a Manhattan federal court, jury selection begins in the corruption trial of U.S. Senator Bob Menendez, a Democrat. It's the second one the New Jersey Democrat has faced over the last decade. Menendez is facing charges alleging he accepted bribes of, among other things, gold bars and cash in exchange for influence, as well as acting as a foreign agent for Egypt. Joining us right now is the co-host of The Bottom Line on Fox Business. You got to watch it tonight. Former Wisconsin congressman and prosecutor Sean Duffy. Sean, good morning to you.
Steve, good to see you. Thanks for having me.
You know, there are a couple of stories out there. I think in the New York Times it suggests that maybe Bob Menendez may actually throw his wife under the bus and say, she had information. I didn't know we were taking bribe money.
I had no idea, but the gold bars that came into my house, allegedly from my wife, I also searched online. I Google searched how much they were worth. Also, Steve, I mean, the prosecution here has some really wonderful details. So one of the envelopes of cash that were found in his jacket pocket when the FBI searched his home, they have fingerprint evidence of the driver of, one of these business associates who allegedly paid the money to Menendez,
right,
and also DNA from one of those business associates. So they not only have the gold and the cash, but they also have fingerprints and DNA on the envelopes that held the cash. By the way, Bob Menendez has spent his life serving in government, local levels in New Jersey, all the way up to now the U.S. Senator. I can attest that when you serve in government, you should not have gold bars and almost $500,000 in cash in your home. You
right,
don't make that much money.
Right.
Something else was going on here, Steve. And there's the sordid details of this case are unbelievable. But also, listen, he got off. You mentioned he got off this case in 2017. Right. He had a deadlock jury. The prosecutors chose not to go back. Bob Menendez won re-election after that jury trial. Mm-hmm. I think he thinks he's going to get off again, and if he does, he's going to run in New Jersey potentially as an independent, right, not a Democrat. And what that can do is allow Republicans to actually win the seat. So Democrats are a bit freaked out about the politics of how this plays out.
Well, in the last governor's race in the great state of New Jersey, Jack Ciattarelli, who's a Republican, came within 4 or 5 points of beating the incumbent. So who knows what's going to happen. But, there is, and politics better than anybody, there is the political hypocrisy. It wasn't that long ago that George Santos, a Republican, who faced all sorts of charges, ethics violations and stuff like that, essentially was drummed out of the House. Meanwhile, it was never adjudicated. In the meantime, you got this guy, Bob Menendez, once again, not adjudicated, but he's sitting firm and not going to leave until they drag him out of there.
Yeah, so it's interesting. George Santos, it's a good point, was charged with federal crimes, and the House threw him out, giving Republicans a much tighter majority. George Santos was a Republican voter, was always on the team. They kicked him out, making that majority that much smaller. Menendez also charged, not convicted, and he's still in the Senate. Again, it begs the question: Democrats are able to do things different than Republicans. Republicans kick out their allies and their friends before adjudication. Democrats don't. I think it's actually shameful, this double standard. And again, this is not the only case. We have the Trump trial. We also have Henry Cuellar, Democrat congressman down in Texas, has been charged federally for corruption. So there are a number of trials we're going to watch. But if you're Bob Menendez and you're in New Jersey or Manhattan, you probably have a little bit more favorable jury pool than, say, Donald Trump. They're a little deeper blue and a little more agreeable to the Democrat persuasion. However, gold bars and cash, Steve, that's pretty tough evidence in a courtroom, especially with people who don't make that much money.
I wonder if they're going to actually bring the gold bars in. They will have a bunch of potential jurors today. Jury selection starts here in Manhattan. And tonight, 6 o'clock over on Fox Business, Mr. Duffy, along with Dagan, will have highlights on Fox Business. He's also going to host Outnumbered today at noon. So you've got a busy day, sir. Thank you. I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.